Ooh.
Mikey!
No, do you hear that? Do you hear that?
What?
A ghost. It's a ghost.
Oh my god. I don't know what you expect with your cats being in here.
I want to get them out.
I guess you could go, hi, stop fanning.
It's a panic, it's an anxiety thing.
You go, hi, I go, hello.
Okay, if you want to do that, then we go, how are you? Like, really, like, kind of like, and then we'd be like, you could be like, it's REM. And
Yeah.
I'd be like,
Your local dream
REM,
girl.
your local dream girls. I'm Rue. I'm Emily.
Oh, I'm going first.
Yeah, because R.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so, ready?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3.
Hi.
No. Hi,
Hello, it's Rem.
your local dream girls.
I'm Rue.
I'm Em, and the title of our podcast, if you didn't already get it, it is a pun. It is a pun. REM, sleep, dream girls, you get it. It's like there's a whole inception to it. It's got a lot of layers, kind of like your dreams. So, oh gosh, I'm so smart, aren't I?
You come with some good puns.
No, I mean, like, it was kind of fun. I don't really like puns. I'm not really like a pun kind of girl.
Why not?
I don't know. I only like them in, like, this is gonna sound really cliche, but I only really like them when it comes to Shakespeare.
Only Shakespeare?
Sometimes.
You're such an
I don't know,
English major.
Okay, listen. Puns make me insecure. Because I am not good at making puns. I'm really not. I only like puns when they're really creative and they're funny, and a lot of people have the ability to just, like, pull puns out of their ass, and
Yeah.
I don't have that ability.
Oh.
So when I came up with this title, I'm like, I'm gonna ride this to the sunset. I'm so proud of this. So everybody, please enjoy the title of this podcast, because it's never gonna change.
It means so much to her.
Yeah, because it's our initials together, and, you know, REM sleeping, and that's what we're gonna take you into. It's just this whole trance of, like, what the hell is going on.
It's almost like you're dreaming, but it's just us talking.
Yeah, so this is the pilot episode of our podcast. Thank you all for listening. And also, guess what today is?
Is it Halloween?
It's Halloween, bitch.
Oh!
That's right, it's spooky season. It's the end of October, the best month of the year. Don't even try to argue with me on that. This is the best time of the year, and we're gonna end it on a good note, right?
Yeah, very true.
So today we have a little special for you guys to start us off on this whole big journey. We're gonna tell you some scary stories today, and by us I mean Rue.
Oh no.
Yes, so Rue has prepared basically a scary story for you guys to listen to, and for me to listen to, and for me to react to.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to kind of start this off easy. The whole basic premise of this podcast is for you to kind of listen to our own opinions about what's going on in society, things that we find interesting. Just basically, this is just a moment where I get to rant in front of a mic for an hour, and people actually listen to it, except for it being confined to my kitchen and me pacing. So.
Now you sound like insane person.
It's gonna happen regardless, whether it's recorded or not. So might as well record it.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah. So, I guess we can just go ahead and dive right into it. It's spooky time, bitches.
Yeah, yeet.
It was, okay, you weren't confident enough in it. It was like, yo, yeet.
I was looking through things.
Oh, okay.
Let me have this.
Change your insecure yeet and we'll be fine.
Change your insecure yeet. That's the worst thing you ever said.
Anyways, happy Halloween. How are you? This is where you reach your, like, epitome in the year. Like, you reach your highest. You're the ultimate boss at this point.
Yeah.
This is, like, where you thrive the most.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to what story you prepared.
Hopefully it's good, because it's from Creepypasta, and
hell yeah.
and
Creepypasta is my shit.
And the rating for it was, I think, 8.87, something like that.
What is the scale with that? Is it like 100's like the scariest?
10. It's out of 10, so it's like 9.
Oh,
80.
did you say 80 point?
I said 8.87.
Oh, it's like, so it broke the system. Broke the scale.
That's how scary it was.
You know what also? Okay, sorry to divert the conversation, but I need to divert the conversation. This doesn't have, like, smut in it, does it?
No.
Is it, like, rating because of how scary it is, or, like, on maturity level?
I guess how good it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, how
Because,
good it is in general.
If we were about to dive into, like, some Pennywise smut, like,
we're not doing that.
I mean...
No!
Okay. It's on the table. Let's just say that.
Oh, God. All right.
Maybe.
Next time.
Next time. Absolutely.
Next time.
Get a new producer.
Our manager is very sick of us if you can't hear her in the background.
Honestly.
Thank you, KB. We love you. Anyways, back to spooky season. I'm pumped. Let me hear what you got. You said that you delved into one of my fears for this story.
Yeah, I did.
Is it like, are you going to tell me before, or are you going to...
I mean, I could tell you, but it'll ruin it.
Oh, I'm at a crossroads. Is it going to be something that all the other people are afraid of?
Definitely if you don't like dark things.
Okay. Or, like, did you specifically write up a scary story incorporating only my fears?
Just all of them, all
Like, we're listening to it. We're listening to it, and I'm just like, damn you. Damn you so much.
This is all for
It's
me.
like it's like the abandonment she felt with her family.
Ah, yes. It's finally the story that we all want to talk about.
That one time in the 4th grade when nobody would sit with her at lunch, and everybody was saying that her name was a bad word, and nobody would talk to her. And I'm just like, wow, this character sounds really familiar.
The peanut table.
Stop! Like, of course you at the peanut table, the peanut allergy table. I just sat there going, why has God forsaken me? He's abandoned me. I'm 9.
So this one is called Deep. It was written by Ryan Brenneman.
Oh no, I think I already know.
And basically all they give you before they get straight into the story is Blake Garner awoke to an oppressive physical darkness. So if you're thinking what I'm thinking, yes.
Darkness inside of him or like on the outside of him?
Physical darkness.
Oh, sweet. It's great that he added that adjective.
Just in case.
Because like the other one's like, that's just a typical Tuesday night for me.
Physical darkness. Oh no, are we
Like
stuck in a
emotional
cave?
darkness, like, alright, whatever. He's not special. Like, every kid. Every person born like in the same generation as us feels that same darkness within. But if it's physical, terrifying. I'm ready for it.
Alright. So.
Don't you dare take photos of me.
So, here we go. Deep. Oh, why? Alright. Blake Garner awoke to an oppressive physical darkness. It embraced him. As the cold shadows flowed around him, he felt himself falling, slowly but surely. He tried to reach out, to flail, to grasp, but only pain greeted him. Something bit into his wrist like fiery needles. His hands... Oh, sorry. I just realized I had some frosting on me. So... Alright, his hands found each other fast, and they clasped together with the interlocked fingers. With interlocked fingers that had been bound behind his back. When he tried his feet, not only did he find the same intrusion of pain, but there was a weight there, a tension that dangled below his legs that dragged him along. As were his hands, so had his legs been bound, and something was pulling him deeper, farther into the dark. After a few seconds, a pressure came... Sorry. After a few seconds...
Just, like, take a second.
Sorry,
if
no.
If you feel like you're messing up, like, pause and then...
It's not that. My group chat went over it and I got irritated and made me lose my place.
Oh, okay. It wasn't, like, you getting nervous.
No.
Like, damn these group chats. Damn these people wanting to communicate with me. It's a good thing I was about to make a joke about not having friends, but I have friends.
Yeah. You're looking at her.
I know. I'm like sitting in front of 2 of my friends. Anyways.
Ah, yes. Oh. Yeah, found it. Cool. After a few seconds, a pressure came upon him. He felt it around his eyes and deep in his sinuses. The shadow had become overwhelming and
his
heavy.
Sinuses?
Sinuses, yeah.
Oh my god. I hate that. Like,
Yeah.
It's like so pressured. Ew. Okay.
So are you kind of imagining what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, like, I can physically, like, feel it. But, like, the bad thing is, like, you can't see anything when it's happening. It's only, like, I don't know. It's because, like, your senses, like, heighten so much.
Yeah.
When one of your senses is, like, gone.
Yeah.
And I hate that because I can feel it on my body. And I don't like that. I don't like that feeling.
Well, it's a good thing that you're feeling it on your body.
Shut the fuck up.
The shadows had become overwhelming and heavy, aggressive. The further along he went, the greater the weight of the blackness. Every time he moved, he heard the darkness move too. It was a physical presence. He felt himself pushed through it. It felt familiar, very familiar. He felt something in his mouth, plastic, malleable. Hello? He breathed through it, and as stagnant air filled his lungs. When he released it, he felt the air move out the side of his mouth. It was then he had the sudden sinking realization. His predicament finally made horrible sense. The air was released from the side of his mouth and formed bubbles that fizzed in the darkness around him. He heard them and felt them against his face as they floated away. Some of the pressure left his face. The air that escaped paved the way to his terrible understanding. Some of the darkness seeped in through the corners of his mouth. Its salty, gritty texture filled his mouth.
Wait,
Fills
what?
his right mouth. Are you? No.
Is he like underwater? Is that? Oh. No. Oh no.
Clyde, get off!
God. Okay. I don't like this.
I know you don't.
I don't.
The taste would find his worst nightmare. No, he thought, no, this cannot be. No. He tried to scream, just moments before he reached his silt-covered destination.
Nobody's gonna fucking hear you, bitch.
You in the water.
You in the water. You drowning. You gone.
That's it.
That's it. There's nothing at this point.
You're dying.
I hate this. Okay.
No one would hear him, for he was alone, bound, and trapped on the ocean floor.
Jesus Christ.
The panic The panic that beset him was unlike any he'd ever known. Before and again, he started fighting his restraints. A useless gesture.
Wait, he's tied up?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
His mouth gagged.
I thought like the bounds around him, like the binds around him were just like
the darkness itself?
Yeah, like he was just like, oh, this is a very fancy way of like talking about that I'm trapped. And it's like, no, like he's literally tied up and gagged.
Yeah.
And like thrown in the water.
Yeah.
I hate this.
So like he's literally just dying slowly.
Oh my god. Fuck
that. A useless gesture. He tossed and turned like a fish at the end of a long line. He stood no chance of escaping. The ropes that bound him were far too tight and thick for that. So glad I said thick correctly. I tend to say something else on accident, but it's alright. Anyways, after several minutes, Blake felt a terrible exhaustion set in. The water chilled him. The only warmth came from the failing adrenaline surging within his shivering veins. The salt stung at his chest with needles and pins, a shocking and unwelcome pain. He stared into the darkness. As he mortified by the almost perfect darkness before him, in the night and at his depth, he was positive his visibility was no more than a few inches in front of his face. Yet, he knew he could see. His eyes and nose, for that matter, were both dry. They were covered. Someone had given him a mask to see through. But why?
What? Oh my god, I hate this.
Everything about that is just no for you.
No, that's just like fucked up. Why would you do that? Oh my god. Okay.
It's like that, but like a clown's down there with you.
Honestly, that's kind of funny though. If I'm drowning at the bottom of the ocean and a clown just swims by, I would be like, what the fuck? Just like imagine that. It's just like he's just like,
hey, how you doing?
I'd be more pissed than anything. I'd be like, why the hell is there a fucking clown down here? This is not the last thing I want to see.
A clown?
Like legitimately, like throw like I don't know, like Min Yoon-gi or Ezra Miller down there. I'll be fine. Like, I'll accept it at that point.
Why would Min Yoon-gi be down there?
That's what I'm saying. If you're gonna throw anything down there, like, don't let it be a fucking clown. That's just ridiculous. That's okay. If you want if you want a dark and deceptive kind of like feeling and like an aura that's been like, oh, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to you, throw somebody down there that I'm gonna be like, no, I'm never gonna see that person again. That's so sad. I'm dying. Like Min Yoon-gi or like my mom. I'm gonna be like, crap, I'm never gonna be able to listen to another BTS album again.
You're just down there as Min Yoon-gi, your favorite rapper's drowning with you.
My cats, like everybody's just like around me, my whole family, like do that. not like a clown. If like you're making a clown go, but I'm like you're just adding humor to the situation, and I hate that. That's so stupid.
But shut up.
Anyways, no, that's just like, that's ridiculous. But you know what's even more ridiculous than that? Wearing a freaking mask in the ocean.
Yeah, that's pretty stupid.
So why?
Like, can
Are
he?
we gonna like find out why he has a mask?
Well, yeah, I haven't finished reading it, so I'm like getting through this with you. I only read like some of it to make sure I know what it's about.
Oh, okay. So you don't know like how scary it's about to get.
No.
Okay, alright.
I'm just hoping it's good. If not, I screwed up Halloween. We should just cancel everything.
Oh, we're not canceling Halloween just because of your mistake.
It just cancel me. How about that?
That's what we're saying. We're canceling you.
Just throw me off the side of the bridge. How about that?
We'll tie you up, make you wear a mask, throw you in the water. We'll
Perfect.
have my mom come visit you.
How you doing, Rue?
My mom's like, hey, Rue! You're like, hey, Miss Nikki.
I forgot Nikki.
Anyways.
Jagger, sorry.
Oh, damn.
Why are we doing this? Right. Nothing, and beyond the nothing, the shadows swirl through and thick and devious, concealing everything from the smallest plankton to the largest predator.
Every time you say thick, I want to laugh.
Stop! I'm trying not to say dick!
Because I want you to say thick.
That was really gross. Please cut that out.
I want you to choke on the word so bad.
I kept saying thick so many times I turned it to dick, and I was like, oh no.
Wait, add dick though in the sentence.
This one?
Yeah.
Alright, nothing, and beyond nothing, the shadow swirled dick. Thick and devious.
Dick and devious.
Concealing everything from the
I'd be like,
smallest
oh no, it's terrifying.
The biggest dick known to man.
Anyways.
Alright, back to what I was saying before.
Dick and devious.
Nothing, and beyond. Oh, damn it. See, Emily, I hate you. Oh.
Okay.
Nothing, and beyond that, nothing, the shadows swirled thick and devious, concealing everything from the smallest plankton to the largest predator. The breathing is accelerated as his mind. Ooh, God.
Restate that sentence.
Huh. His breathing accelerated as his mind kindly illuminated the darkness beyond. He saw sharks, hundreds of them, circling.
Hell yeah. Sorry,
Ooh,
I love sharks.
I know you do! Their teeth shining in a bloody white radiance. They all smiled at him. They'd been given such a lovely presence.
Oh, hell yeah. If I was this dude, that would be the only thing that would make me happy. There's a bunch of sharks smiling at me. I'd be like, thank you. And then I would go back to freaking out.
Thanks, man.
Oh, thank you. Oh my god. They just like come up and hug you and they go, look, I'm not gonna help you. But like,
We're here.
we're here for you.
You're like, oh,
I'm here for you on an emotional level.
Can you
And
like?
you're like, thanks, Shark. I had no idea you could speak English so well.
He's like, yeah, we've been knowing how to speak English this entire time. Their eyes as black as the water, their teeth shining in a bloody white radiance. They all smiled at him. They'd been given such a lovely present. That was what he was, wasn't it? A gift to anything and everything that lurked below. The only thing he was missing was a pretty little bow. And he'd be alive to feel it. Whoever had damned him here made sure of that. What cruel bastards send a man to the deep while he's asleep? What had happened? His memory was a jigsaw shoved onto the floor, scattered and unorganized. His mind tried to repair it, but the pieces wouldn't fit. In his current state, the reconstruction of said puzzle looked incredibly unlikely. There was something about a party, a bar.
Oh.
Yeah, crazy, right? I would hate for someone to kidnap you and just all like you wake up and you're in the ocean.
All I'm thinking about is secondary location warning from John Mulaney.
Yeah.
Like, nah, sister, you're not getting me to a secondary location.
Yes, I know.
You want this money,
John
Cliff?
Mulaney.
Go get it. Street smarts.
Ooh, you're right.
Don't ever go to a secondary location. Don't ever go from a party to a bar.
Maybe the party was in the bar.
See, I don't have to worry about that because nobody invites me to things like that.
Because you're a baby still.
That's very true. I don't turn 21 until next month.
So, yeah.
So it's illegal if they take me to it.
Yeah, they won't let you in with the bouncer. He's all like, you're too young. You're like, no!
I just start screaming before they can get me to the bar.
You're like, no, I can't do it.
I'm a baby.
I'm a baby.
I am only 20.
I am only the 20. That's all I am. I'm about to be 21 in a few weeks.
Yes.
Clyde, I'm gonna need you to not, sir.
I just won't give you the cases. He goes, put me in a bubble bath. And give me cases.
Put me in the bubble bath.
Put me in a bubble bath. Let me give you all the cases.
Kids.
He goes, I'm a 6-month-old kid and I talk like this.
I ain't one thing
Put
up.
me in a bubble bath.
You've been watching
See,
too much Big Mouth.
I have.
Mikey is chill.
Because
He's
it's called.
tired. That's the only thing.
It's only
He's
8:25.
emotionally drained at this point. All right, keep going. How long? Much longer do we have?
Pretty long because we keep talking.
Oh, okay. What's the point though?
Yeah, it is. I found it. All right, sorry. I was like, where? There's just this huge ad right in front, so it's making me lose my
Okay,
praise. That's
alright.
what's happening.
And pause.
A current ran across the small of his naked back like a giant centipede. Imaginary or not, Blake turned, twisting his bonds, and the image before him remained the same. If anything had been there, he never have known. As he rolled to his side, then back to his right, nothing changed. The static image of nothingness held his focus tight like a vice. It continued to do so until he looked up. The appearance of some light, any light at all, should have helped elevate his fears. But instead, it felt as though his heart had shriveled up and died within his chest. The moon watched him from overhead, too far away to offer any help. Its light was dull and blurred by the surface, a surface which must have sat at least 70 feet away.
This dude's having a lot of conscious thought for somebody who should be not holding their breath for this long.
It's like his mile's going like a mile a minute.
No, it feels like he's literally giving a Shakespearean monologue while sitting at the bottom of the ocean. I would just be like, I can't breathe.
He's looking around going,
I'd be like,
sharks?
Oh, like, let me take in this perspective and this angle and stuff like that. I'm like, bitch, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I'm dying.
And apparently he doesn't have a shirt on, so he's definitely gonna freeze to death somehow.
Like,
I don't
he's
know.
just literally just like, I'm aware of everything. And I'm just like, I'm aware of the fact that I'm terrified right now. And this water is probably filled with my shit. I'm shitting and vomiting all at the same time right now. Every liquid is leaving my body and I'm fully aware of it because that's how scared I am.
That's disgusting.
This literally terrifies me. This concept
I know.
terrifies me so much.
I know.
All
And I
right,
love it.
Continue.
I just want to see you just freak out slowly.
I wake up in the middle of the night, you're tying me up and like gagging me. And you're like, I just want to see you live your life, live your truth, Emily. You gotta face your fears eventually.
You're like, no!
You're like, you're reading about behavioralism. Come on, operate conditioning, bitch. Let's go.
You're just
You're
screaming.
facing your fears today.
You're screaming the entire time.
I'm gagged right now. It doesn't matter. Nobody's gonna hear me.
I will. That's all that matters.
Ew, I hate that. Shut the fuck up. Alright,
Oh,
Anyways.
I hate you, Mikey.
back to Blake. Is that his name?
Yep.
Okay.
Blake. A swimmable distance, a good distance for any diver who wasn't bound to the bottom of the sea. It could be worse, his mind decided to say.
Shut the fuck up.
You know, it could be
Humble yourself in this moment. You're dying. Don't humble yourself. This isn't the time for humility, Blake.
Blake. Blink.
That's what you're about to be. Anyways, he's getting anxious. He doesn't want to be in this room anymore. I'm talking about my cat for anybody who needs to know. He's trying to rip the door off the hinges. And he's capable of it too. Somebody let him out.
So. Yet the temptation of the waves above and the soothing light of the moon offered him no hope. They merely mocked him with the release he couldn't have. Before his eyes, the moon was swallowed by the dark. Blake Sorry.
My phlegm went to you.
I hate you.
You're welcome.
I'm not putting that in. Start back at Blake.
Sorry, that's funny.
Blake grasped. Oh no. Alright, sorry. I'm just having a moment.
Blake's ass ate grass.
Oh shit!
Blake's ass ate that sand, and that's how he survived.
That's how you gonna eat the. You know what? His ass.
It absorbed all the moisture in his body that was like in his lungs. The sand was like.
You know what, Blake? You might as well die
That's how
down
Blake
there.
survives.
Fuck Blake at this point.
Alright, anyways.
Blake grasped fast for the rope below. Holding it tight, he pulled and thrashed until his back was brought to bear against a hard concrete block that had sunken him. His heart raced as his eyes strained in suffocating black. Something, somewhere, had just crossed between him and the only light he had left, something big, and he could not see it.
You think this dude like has been training his lungs for a moment just like this?
I feel like he was a swimmer.
Right?
Like he has to be the way.
He's gonna be the newest character in Free, the swim anime.
Just dance.
God,
Sorry.
Dude, he's got some powerful lungs. It's either that or he's a magician, like an illusionist. Like he does like the water tricks and stuff like that.
All right, Emily.
Dude, I'm down for like a magician.
I know that's the problem. This is not it.
Okay.
All right. He could only wait for it to take him. Seconds passed and the moon hadn't returned. Minutes passed and he was still alive. His grip relaxed, cautious. He was very cautious. He felt himself rise, and yet buoyant by the breath in his lungs. In the depths, it wasn't just his eyes that failed him. All his senses, had seemingly abandoned him to his fate. His hearing was useless. The ones who had damned him to the deep had placed earplugs in his ears.
What the hell?
They are literally making him just be by himself in the water.
Oh my god.
That's so gross.
I hate that. Also, very considerate because at that pressure, his eardrums would
You know what's so funny?
explode.
That's the next part.
Oh,
He talks
no!
about that.
I wrote this.
I ghostwrote it. It's fine.
Joke's on you. I wrote it. The entire time I'm writing, I'm like, wow. He's got lungs of steel, this Blake.
You know, he's a good dude. So glad his ears haven't fucking ruptured yet.
I just can't get over those lungs. Got a good set of lungs on him.
Let's go miss a few minutes.
But he'd be a really nice opera singer.
I'm so stupid.
Blake's dying. We were being so inconsiderate.
We are. We're sorry, Blake. Alright. So, yeah, we know that they placed the eardrums, and though they surely used his eardrums, it just surely saved to use his eardrums.
They removed his eardrums while he was sleeping.
He can't hear at all.
He won't find out though because he's in water. You can't hear anything in water.
Good luck, bitch. And though they surely...
You know, if a tree falls in the water and like nobody's around, like does the tree make a sound at all?
Can Blake hear it?
Can Blake hear it in the water? If the tree falls in water and nobody's around to hear it, do you think Blake would hear it?
He would have to. He's the only one there. Or he would just feel the vibrations of the water.
The sharks feel it. Anyways.
They're like, Blake, there's a tree.
Why is there a tree in the middle of the ocean, Blake? That doesn't make any sense.
Like you here. You don't make sense.
You. Why are you here, Blake?
Why you're still alive, actually? That's
It's
a
like
question.
They're like philosophical charts.
They're his
They
brain.
studied theology in school. And they're just like, Blake, tell us, why is there a tree in the middle of the ocean? What does that mean to you? And he's like, I don't know. I'm drowning right now.
They're like, you're right.
Happy Halloween. They swim off. Anyways. That was dumb to laugh at that. Continue.
Yeah, they saved his eardrums from rupturing under the water pressure. The only sounds that came through them were harsh and static. All the ocean offered him was droning white noise. Down there in the deep, the only sense he had unhampered was his touch. That could only help him so much. He was a prisoner in an inaccessible hell. It took about 5 minutes, an unspeakable amount of time for Blake, before light could reappear in the waters above. In that time, Blake, fueled by his fear of suffocating unknown, had been feeling around his restraints. He reaffirmed what he already knew. Rope had bound him at the wrists and at his ankles. He had followed the line beneath his ankles and felt about the cinder block that had pulled him down. The rope wrapped around it many times. Each strand was as thick as his thumb. That was a bad sentence for me. And he couldn't find any knot. It was surely on the other side of the block, suffocated in the thick muck below. He couldn't untie it. So this bitch is stuck. stuck.
Well, yeah.
Poor Blake. The idea of his pocket knife came to mind. Pocket knife.
I hate that. I hate it. This bitch got a pocket knife.
You probably don't even have clothes on right now.
Kill yourself. Like, save yourself the trouble.
I think it's bound behind his back, so he can't even reach for it. So his thought process doesn't even matter.
Oh, my pocket knife.
Oh, I have a pocket knife? I should probably get... Oh, no!
When I tie myself, I better go whittle a stick while I'm at it.
You might as well beat my meat while I'm at it.
No!
Sorry.
It's in the ocean. It's not possible. Really.
Oh, that's your issue.
It's probably like... I don't even think it's like possible. I feel like it would just be like... I feel like you would start chafing. Pretty bad with like the salt water.
Yeah, probably.
Also, he's dying. His lungs are probably burning right now.
It's been
and the
5
first thought he
minutes.
has is like, I'm gonna what? No, I'm pissed about the pocket knife.
Understandable.
Where's he keeping this pocket knife?
In his pocket.
Does he always keep a pocket knife on him? I thought
Apparently.
he was, like, sleeping.
Apparently, I don't know. Maybe just in case like a burglar came.
It's in his asshole. You think it's like up his ass?
He got shitted out.
What if he just keeps one there, just like in case? What if he knew that this was gonna happen? He was like,
That's gross, and I hate it.
he didn't know when it was gonna happen. He's like, gotta be ready.
Yeah, you're right.
He's like, I haven't eaten fiber for 3 weeks. I'm back up.
Like the pocket knife's gonna help.
No, because like what? Because imagine how terrifying that would be if somebody came at you, ripped a pocket knife from their butt, and then like just like shitting profusely. That's the real essence of Halloween. Somebody coming after me, just like, shitting themselves profusely and chasing you with a knife. I'd be like, I don't know which I'm more terrified of. Like, who's gonna clean up that mess? And I don't want somebody to find my body covered in somebody else's feces. You know?
I mean, that's a good fear to have, I think.
Yeah, thank you. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Now we're gonna end it there. I'm kidding. He should have had it on him. He never went anywhere without it.
Damn it. Okay.
It was a good, hopeful idea for a few seconds.
Me.
He has his shorts on. When he reached upwards for his shorts, he was met only with the touch of his own skin. Never mind.
He's naked.
The excitement. He's naked.
Sorry. There's something so vulnerable about that.
He digs really out.
Oh my god, why? That's not... I was like, it's something vulnerable about the essence of him being naked in the water. And you're just like, his dick's out. He's gonna die with his dick exposed. And probably shriveled up. All that salt, man. Oh, it's doing probably wonders to his skin right now.
Yeah.
He's gonna shrivel up like a little prune.
Listen, he's already gonna be dead, so it doesn't really matter.
You're right.
Alright, so...
No, wait, don't you bloat from salt water?
Good, yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand. I don't want to know. I don't want to find out.
I know, like, if a
I
dead
feel like
body...
your skin just, like, dehydrates so much.
Yeah,
You
like,
just,
I know, when at the cadaver, they don't, like, put moisturize on it. They will actually
But
just
this is,
shrivel
like,
up.
salt water. This isn't, like, water.
Yeah. I know, I was
I know,
just...
like, bodies bloat in water. But I think, like, in salt water, it does, like, I don't know. Let's not think too much about this. My brain's gonna explode. And his lungs are about, so let's get to that point.
You're right. His chin came to his chest, as if he could see himself. His chin rubbed against his raw collarbone, and Blake found he was also without a shirt.
I thought we already knew that.
He haven't realized it, apparently. And with that, he realized he was naked.
Me.
Completely exposed and
And
naked.
at that point, he realized he was naked.
Just think, like,
I want that on my epitaph.
completely exposed and naked.
And at that point, she realized she was naked.
I hate that. That's how you die.
R.I.P. in peace, Emily Brandy.
Yep, someone steal her identity.
Alright. My social security number is.
Tom! They stripped him of not only his freedom and his understanding, but of his goddamn clothes as well. His knife surely sat comfortably with his clothes far away from here. Above the surface, he cursed in the explosive air and fury that had taken over him from the bone-numbing fear he felt moments before. It was a feeling that any man who had had hope torn from his chest so quickly after finding it knows all too well. Alright. In the darkness, however, it was a fleeting feeling. The cold that crept along his skin made itself known once more. It begged for Blake's attention. Where was he before? His mind wandered back to the jigsaw puzzle and found some of the pieces unturned. A bar. Downtown LA. That was it. His last memories of freedom, and they were spent in a drunken haze.
Just want to roofie him? Anyways,
maybe.
Continue.
That's actually a good, question to
Yeah,
ask.
Okay.
Just a typical Friday night. Nothing exactly respectable, but not worth his situation, surely. What could he have done to elite his fate? He's a white supremacist. Sorry, I took your phlegm. An alley. He flipped a jigsaw piece in his head. There had been a woman there. She called to him. Beautiful woman. Beautiful. Green eyes. It's Emily. It's Emily.
It's me.
You did it to him.
I'm Blake's killer. Oh, I love where the story is going. Continue.
What happened
It's
then?
me.
It's Emily this entire time.
I'm like, hello, sir. Do you have a pocket knife shoved up your butt by any chance? I seem to misplace my.
I hate that. Oh, what happened then? Another piece flipped. She wasn't alone, was she? Another piece. She offered him a drink earlier. Something was in it.
I knew it. Well, it's because I roofied him.
You knew it.
I know.
The puzzle turning stopped. For the first time in what he felt like a lifetime, something above caught his eye. As if granted by a cruel god, a green light descended from the surface. It caught his eye early. He followed it as it sunk beside him. It fell gracefully, almost perfectly, through the water. In a slow drop, it settled nicely in a slit below. Blake saw pieces of the sediment. Blake saw pieces of the sediment rising. Can people stop? Thanks.
God, don't you just hate being so popular?
I can't relate.
Anyway, say the sentence one more time.
Blake saw pieces of sediment rise around the light in a thin cloud as the dim LED glow stick touched the ocean floor. His only company, the light had landed just beyond his grasp.
They literally.
They're watching him.
I'm an asshole. Like, literally, just like, I'm gonna throw this glue stick.
Just throw the glue stick.
This glow stick down in the water. So they're literally watching.
They're watching him die.
Oh my god, that's even worse.
You're a terrible person,
I
Emily.
am. I'm a horrible person. Just watching this man Blake die.
His only company, the light had landed just beyond his grasp. He tried, of course, but he found the weight that tethered him to the bottom was too great to move. So the light remained nearby, but unusable. He tried to hover close to its glow. It showed him the smooth slit of the bottom for the first time. The The vaguest silhouette of his face mask.
Ew, I'm actually scaring myself right now. I just had the thought in my head if the glow stick just kind of like landed, and then he saw like a giant body move underneath him, and it's like Megalodon.
Oh no!
Like, okay, I love sharks. I do not love Megalodon. Megalodon scares me so much, and if I continue talking about Megalodon, I'm gonna actually start crying.
Please don't. We're already in the ocean.
If you think about the concept of Megalodon and how large he is, oh my god. Okay, I just want you to like picture that for like a second, like of him being tethered, but let's say it's like a coral, like a reef.
Yeah.
So there's like more depth beside him.
Yeah.
So then like all of a sudden he just sees like a giant dorsal fin just like move past him, and it's literally like Megalodon.
I'll freak out.
I don't. His lungs would have to like spontaneously combust right there.
Yeah.
Because of like the amount of fear of seeing something so large next to you and knowing that it's completely unfathomable. I did not say that word right.
It's fine.
It's like that's how much fear. Oh god, I hate that so much. Okay, I'm gonna stop thinking about that. The amount of fear though that like entered my body. It's not comfortable, nor do I like that. Anyways, let's get Megalodon out of the story. Unless that's where the story is going, then keep him in.
I don't know. All we know is that you, Emily, are watching him die.
Yeah, I already know that.
The vaguest silhouette of his face mask had appeared around his sight, and when he looked down, he could see the outline of his chest. More importantly, he could see that in the yard or so between him and the light, he was perfectly alone. He smiled until he realized the light in front of him had somewhat increased in the eeriness of the wall of black behind him.
Ew.
I know. He could feel it sticking to his skin like a giant spider web. Its caress was unwelcome.
I'm sorry.
He thrashed around, struggling to pull the block closer to the light, but he accomplished nothing.
No, because there's like something in being in darkness but not seeing anything.
Yeah.
But then having a source of light and seeing the vastness of it is a billion times worse.
Yeah. Because, like, it's just knowing that you're all in darkness, you can't see anything is one thing, but, like, having that tiny little
he's,
light
like, just
source.
floating in space, like, he realizes that, but it's like now he can see the depth of the depth of it.
It's a lot.
I don't like it. Okay.
More emotion attracted to his gaze from above. Then there was more glow sticks. 3 more descended from the surface.
Oh my god. It's awful.
He saw 2 of them into the water from above, near where the moon had been. They illuminated the faintest shape of the object that sat above his head. A boat. They're in a boat. In a fucking boat. Just drop.
I keep saying glue sticks.
Yeah, glue sticks.
The glow sticks line up and it says send nudes. He goes, I'm naked.
Exactly.
They're just like, yeah.
Show us your dick.
It's like, you undressed me. I'm naked right now. I'm tethered to this cement block. I couldn't be more naked right now.
Send the nudes though.
We're in a boat. Anyways.
Oh, was it help? Were the lights there to pave the way for a dive team? The idea was sweet as it rolled in his head, but it seemed so unlikely. The sinking on his chest brought the pessimist back to the surface. It was his captors above. They were dropping the lights to be cruel, nothing more. As they settled, he noticed that the pattern had been random. The lights all landed around him in perfect semicircular formation. He noticed each one had fishing line wrapped around their middle. They hadn't sunk in it, they'd been lowered.
What?
But why? The prickling feeling on his chest got worse. The light around him had grown helpful. Blake could see himself, for the most part, in their sickly green glow. It was both reassuring and disheartening to see the seafloor around him. He was thankful to see that the slit free of crabs or other aquatic nightmares. The idea of something crawling up the ropes and onto him made him shiver. However, to see the only algae spot at the bottom was crushing. There was nothing, no seashells, no shark tooth, nothing that Blake could have possibly used to cut himself free. His head drooped in frustration. There was something on his chest.
Oh no.
No, not on. Something was in his chest.
What?
Cut into. Someone had cut all over his chest, and the cuts were purposeful in their direction and design. They cut shaped symbols into his chest. Blake had spent his whole life in LA, a city boy through and through, but he knew a brand when he saw one. He had been branded.
What?
I know. To Blake, it felt more than a physical injury. It was a violation upon him, a desecration. His gut churned as his fingernails bit into the palms of his hands with a furious persistence. Another glow stick fell from the surface.
Oh my god. This is some cult shit.
Yeah, this is insane.
Oh my god.
The glow stick, the final light, fell opposite the semicircular formation behind him. The light was unguided. As it sank, it twirled at the water's mercy.
No, but like imagine if this was happening like on land. A semicircle light.
Yeah.
And then like branding him. This
Yeah.
is like literally like some summoning crap.
Yeah, it was almost like they're just trying to summon like a demon or something like that. Or
Oh,
maybe
that's so
Megalodon!
Stop. Oh my god, what are they doing?
I don't know, this is so gross. It fell until it was just above him. It fell until it was almost at arm's reach away from his face. It fell towards his feet. Then Blake watched as it sank past the ocean floor.
Dude, they got some good aim.
Right? Dang! I want that type of aim in the ocean floor.
Making semicircles wherever you please.
Kings and queens.
Gosh, can't relate. Anyways.
It was with horror that Blake followed the light's descent. He merely had to lean forward to watch as the light carved its way further and further into darkness. He watched, eyes wide, as the light slipped as far into darkness that it became a memory. Faded and dull, as it sank, he had revealed to Blake everything. It had shown him the solid wall of sand and rock it had passed as it sunk. The same wall Blake sat atop of. It showed him a depth without end. How would you sit on a rock? He can just move just a little bit more. He can fall right under.
No.
Yeah. That's what they were showing him. It's like, hey, dude, look at that. Megalodon.
The Megalodon rises.
The light that...
Okay, so what if I wrote this story unconsciously and now like it's starting to consciously come back into me?
Oh my god.
And then all of a sudden you're gonna see Megalodon rise from the depths.
Truthfully, it's just
because
Megalodon.
I'm in the story. I wrote myself in it. Apparently.
You did. Green
I'm the one
eyes.
who drugged him.
Help drugged him.
I drugged him. I'm the mastermind.
You're just... Oh, I like that. I like that idea. Be the mastermind. Be that bitch.
Yeah, because they were like, she's not alone. And it's
Yeah.
like, all right.
So
whatever.
I guess she had a dude with him. With her. Ooh. With
Or
him
like-
as well.
Who knows? Anyways.
The light had shown Blake that he was only a mere feet away from an oceanic drop-off. The trench before him was hidden once more in the shadow so perfectly that Blake started to wonder if he hallucinated it. His heart knew he hadn't. He'd been dropped perfectly at the edge of a certain death. The light was his captors intentionally showing him. From the surface, they played a cruel game with Blake. A tear caught at the bottom of his face mask.
Okay, so I guess this is a good time to pause and take a moment for our sponsors. Sorry to deplete the heated moment, but we do have a sponsor and we are ready to show. Okay, so I was very surprised at the fact that we do actually have a sponsor for this episode. I'll kind of get into it. We are getting paid by this sponsor. I just want to say that this sponsor donated a very, very considerable amount of money to us. A whole $5. Which I convinced her, because we both owe her money. You owe her $22, I owe her like $50.
Oh my god, you're right.
I asked her to take it off of our debt, and she said, perfectly fine, just make sure to do this ad. So I'm also going to throw in half a bottle of vodka, and maybe it'll take it down even more. So,
Oh, I like that.
yeah, so this, basically, the product we are sponsoring today is going to be the Kyra TM. And it's not the original Cairo TM, which is something that we both have experienced together, the V2.1 version.
Yeah.
This is the V2.2 version.
Ooh.
So she kind of sent us some guidelines to kind of follow by and whatnot. So I just want to kind of explain, this arrangement that the two of us have. So this is basically, she's telling us that, being in international industry, we do have certain standards that we ask you to meet when representing us here at the Cairo TM. Don't worry though, we love having creative minds and then it says crossed out, ever regulate and sue if you break any of our everly strict rules, cooperate with. Simply follow through our guidelines and we can guarantee a total one-sided shitty friendly partnership. So I kind of just want to get over, list some of the things that this product kind of entails. So the new model of this has a bunch of new update functions. Do you want to hear what they are?
Yes, please.
Absolutely. So basically, the 2.2 version apparently has a phallic growth increase of 0 to 2 inches.
Wow.
So that means the phallic state of this being has gone from 0 inches to 2 whole inches. What an upgrade.
Love that.
So the second thing is that it even has even lower maintenance costs than before, which it already had such a low amount of maintenance to it already.
You're right.
It literally, excess amount of body hair. But bald head, so maybe there's added in some hair there.
Maybe.
But the maintenance cost of it is that she basically just lives out of a backpack, which is great. Increased communication. Now responds more often to texts and Snapchats, which is such a great feature.
Oh.
Because I remember the Cairo TM, the first one, it literally never responded.
I know, it was the worst thing ever. You would send
it messages all the time, especially when it went to Korea that one time to get a new functioning update to it.
Yes.
Never responded. It would be at odd hours, and then when it would respond, it's just who is this?
Yeah.
It didn't feel right. So anyways, another thing is that it updated its brain functions, now added shrooms and weed as command functions.
Ooh, that's
We're not
really
going to
nice.
delve into that though. Other functions you find useful. That's really great. We also are offering a discount code. You guys can plug in Cairo Rules, Emily Drools for a 10% off discount for their purchase. Please understand that this product is completely family friendly, which is so great considering that everything in this podcast has not been family friendly.
Yeah.
So just understand that if you do buy this product, it will be completely family friendly. You can put it about grandma, you can put it with mom, dad, and even with the kids,
Good babysitter.
I wouldn't go that far. So that is the Cairo TM V2.2. Really, really enjoy this product. Is there anything that you kind of want to add?
The good thing I'll say about this product is... Alright, back to the story.
The agreement says 2 minutes, so I'm going to assume that's 2 minutes. She said for this certain product, it has to be at least 2 minutes long, so... yeah, I mean, it's a great product. Definitely would recommend.
Everyone should own their selves to Cairo.
If you ever have a mental breakdown, it's definitely the right thing for you.
If you
definitely
need to laugh.
Has held me in the most vulnerable moments of my life. Yeah, so great product. Love it.
Yeah, okay, thanks for today's sponsor.
1-800 shave your head and join.
One of us.
My biggest video on YouTube, Kyra's shaved head. Anyways.
Alright, well, we're back to Blake.
Back to the story. Back to Blake. Dude has lungs of steel. Realized that he's at the edge of this very big abyss.
Yeah.
He's fucked. That's all I'm concluding too.
Yeah.
Is that
they also branded him.
Oh yeah, they branded him. He's naked.
Yep.
It's a semicircle around him. It's very weird.
He hates it. Understandable.
He's you know what? Actually,
I like it down here.
Kind of like it.
It's really cozy.
Like it.
Only I can see.
Definitely, really consider.
Living here.
Renting this space out. Opening up an Airbnb here. Definitely would try to make some investments in this area.
Hey, Captures, do you have the number for this Airbnb?
Little did you know that I am a realtor. And I make the most out of any situation.
I hate that. He wasn't sure if the missing... Okay. He wasn't sure if missing the trench had been a blessing or a curse. If he'd gone over it was half as deep as he thought, then the pressure would surely kill him. If not, then the sudden descent would have played havoc with his blood. Blake wasn't a seafaring man, but he wasn't a moron. He knew what the pressure of the deep ocean could do, and the creatures that lived down there weren't far from frightening than any shark.
But clearly he doesn't understand that he should be dead by now.
It hasn't passed through his mind. Apparently he can, like, live here. He's a seaman. He's a seaman.
He's actually Aquaman. This is the origin story for Aquaman. Anyways.
That's so gross. The thought of all those creatures rising, made him recoil further. His back came to rest against the slime of the ocean floor. He lay in the comfortable circle of light.
Comfortable? Okay.
Yeah, it's the only thing he can see. That's very comforting.
Get the warmth of these glow sticks around me.
Yes, civilization.
I really wish they could see the way your body was moving right there. You're like rubbing your body against the glow sticks. Yes. Yes. Warm me. Warm me. Also, if I say glue sticks one more time, I'm actually gonna choke on my own spit. Anyways.
Try not to laugh into the mic. Up here at the edge of the oblivion, he was condemned to wait. Death could come at any time. Blake was sure
Are we sure about that, Blake?
Blake, you are underwater.
Anytime.
You should be dead by now.
God, he's an idiot. That's what he is.
He's probably still trying to wake up from what the fuck happened.
He should be dead.
You're right.
There's no way that somebody is thinking this much in deep. I'm sorry.
He's seeing everything.
I don't mean to be like one of those people. Like,
but you're right.
Like one of those people that's just like, like it's just a story. I get it. But at the same time, this is one of my fears, and I hate it. I hate it.
It's just like you're just living in it.
I'm compensating my fear.
For knowledge.
For knowledge, exactly. Knowledge.
Knowledge is power.
I read a book every day. Sorry.
To compensate on my feelings.
Anyways. That
was the worst of it. The waiting. Blake considered, if only for a moment, pushing himself over the edge. He's like, if I kill myself right now, I could get it over with.
But he can't because he's like tethered down.
It's fine. He would die, painfully, but it would be faster. It would also be on his own terms. The idea of control gave him some satisfaction. But how would he move the weight? This dude is like you, that ending. He's like, I want the control. I want the satisfaction.
I don't want this. I don't want you to call me out like that.
Last he tried it, it had been impossible. Who was to say that the depth was as far enough to kill him? What if he landed at the perfect place between agony and death? It was too risky. He could have chosen to stop breathing.
I don't think you get to choose that. I don't think that's how that works.
I had to stop. I was like, what? Okay. Alright, Blake. No, he could have made it even easier than that. He could have just spit out his regulator. Oh!
What the fuck?
When did this pop up?
What the fuck? You can't do that. You can't do that.
When did he... Hold on.
You can't just like...
When did that...
Did we miss that?
Was it a face mask? And it was an actual face mask. I thought it was like a clown mask.
I thought it was like a mask. Oh my god. Okay.
We're fame.
Okay, never mind. We're idiots.
Yeah, we're just stupid.
Okay, so, okay.
That makes sense.
Alright.
Okay. Oh, so he did...
I'm sitting here going, how can he hold his breath that long? This just, like, completely...
changes the game.
Changed the entire game.
This is even worse, in my opinion.
Honestly, yeah, because now he's just gonna be waiting.
He's like, when will I die?
That's why he's like, the waiting's the worst part. And we're like, what?
You can die any minute, dude.
Like, dude, you got like half a second.
Truthfully, it...
No, like,
an actual face
all right,
mask.
now I sympathize with this guy on another level now. Now I get it.
Now we know that...
This is like crazy now. Okay. This is fucked up. Alright.
Sorry, Blake. We called you an idiot.
Hashtag sorry, Blake.
Sorry that you're like...
Get it trending on Twitter, everyone.
Sorry, Blake, as you sit at the bottom of the ocean.
Anyways.
That would have been far more peaceful, less painful. Either way, Blake decided it was far preferable to die as he went than die as the bastards above him wanted him to. He just needed to gather the courage. This... Blech.
Alright.
You know, just try to take it all, but... Sorry. I'm Yoshiing it up. Courage ran in shots. That was weird. Courage ran in short supply as the lost light began to emerge from the dark. Blake had risen to a floating position. Sorry, that was a weird sentence. Blake had risen to a floating position again when it was in his peripherals. He saw the faint glimmer beyond the edge of the trench. He avoided it. Surely it wasn't real. It was his mind, his panic. If he ignored it, he suffered no consequence, yet the light persisted as soon as the glow became unmistakable. The shimmer called Blake from the past edge in the deep. Blake looked. The light was rising. Against all logic and sanity, the lost light has begun to ascend in the fringe waters. Let me say that sentence again. Give me a moment. The light was rising. Against all logical sanity, the lost light had begun to ascend to the fringe waters. It showed Blake something awful. Below its light, the shadowed water seemed to breathe and stir.
Stop.
In the periphery of the rising green light, shades changed as something rose from the depths. It was sickening realization that came when he saw the shadows had wrapped themselves about the middle of the glow stick. The light was rising because something was carrying it.
Stop!
Blake's view was again obscured by bubbles and darkness as he retreated from the abyssal edge. In quick, pathetic motions, he tried to pull himself away from the rising terror. He felt the prickly sand press up against his back as he wrestled futilely with his restraints. Unfortunately, he had neither the strength nor the energy to break the vacuous hold the sentence had upon his block. He could do little more than yell through his regulator as the light peaked. Blake could see it now. As the light stopped its vertical ascent, a disturbing scene greeted him. He would have given anything to return to the darkness as the figure clambered up over the ledge. It stood, directly before him, 2 naked legs.
What? Oh no! Ew, I got chills. Ew, fuck that. No, it's like, oh my god, is it, legs?
Legs.
Like legs?
Human legs.
From the dead.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that. Okay. Alright, whatever. Okay.
Their eyes met. The sight...
Sorry.
Your face! The sight before him was unimaginable. The light had been carried by a man. Not a man. A corpse.
No. Oh my god.
The light showed enough to confirm that. The man's bare skin had grown ragged and gray, waterlogged by untold months beneath the waves. Some sections of flesh have long since given way, surrendered to the sea, revealing the fitted muscles beneath. Sorry, that was weird. Blake gagged when he noticed that a tiny tendrils of tattered skin dangled off into the distance.
Ew. He's
Like
like a flag.
Yeah!
He's like a flag of a man.
Flag of a man.
He's a flag of a man.
That's so gross.
Ew. Oh, ew.
That is really
Ew,
gross.
he's literally just like a standing skeleton with like his skin flapping
In the wind. But you see like gross
Oh, Jesus.
muscles.
Oh, no. And he's holding a light?
Yeah, looking dead and looks up, Blake.
Oh my god. Okay.
Okay. Sights upon the man's body where the denizens of the oceans had begun to pick him apart and eat. Piece by piece, rigor mortis had a tight grip upon the man's pained, tortured face. His eyes were as wide as, like his mouth, frozen in eternal silent scream. He'd been dead for a long time, yet his eyes still moved.
Oh my god. I hate that.
They fixed themselves upon Blake. The monstrous vision held the light close to his face, and Blake couldn't help himself. He stared deeply into those clouded grayed eyes. Blake could see through behind its gaze. A soul sat within it. The corpse leaned closer, brought by an unseen current perhaps towards Blake. Extending its free arm in a rigid, almost robotic fashion, it began to examine him. It seemed inquisitive, like a man examining vegetables at a supermarket. It was morbid in a way it moved. When in motion, the limbs and muscles of the figure seemed healthy, alive. Blake, petrified before this horror, saw the corpse's eyes left his and fell upon his chest. Lowering its light, its other hand came forward, and his water-logged finger began to trace the patterns carved into Blake's chest.
We don't even know what's carved into his chest.
As if it were following the streets on a map. Revolted at the creature's touch, Blake squirmed and twitched, but the corpse held no contempt. Contempt. It followed his every motion with intense precision. Seemingly satisfied.
He's naked right now.
He's very much naked.
Gosh.
That's worse. Seemingly satisfied, it lifted itself back. No, it was pulled back. There was something behind the corpse. Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, this is like that SpongeBob movie.
Yes!
Where it's like the old lady attached to that freaking monster. That's where they got the inspo from. Ew. And he goes, "You want some ice cream?
You want some ice cream, Sonny?"
Ew, no, I hate this. Okay.
Like a pillar in the night, a shape had taken form behind the moving carcass. It rose out of sight, above and below, with every swaying motion the corpse made in the water. The pillar followed. I'm gonna say that again. It rose out of sight, above and below, and with every swaying motion the corpse made in the water, the pillar followed like an enormous shadow. The corpse danced at the pillar's will, a puppet to the puppeteer. Before he could grant any further thought, his attention was called back to the corpse as it brought the glow stick towards its own chest. It became deadly still in the water. It was waiting for Blake to seed. I said seed.
I'm so terrified right now. I can't even laugh.
It became deadly still in the water. It was waiting for Blake to see. It had to show him. The corpse showed Blake his chest and the familiar brand upon it. Blake was staring at the very same symbols had been cut into his own chest. It wasn't execution or some random cruel murder. He hadn't pissed off the wrong man. No, it was far worse. It was more primal than that. It was a sacrifice, and Blake was the lamb.
Jesus, I hate it.
As Blake's eyes stretched wide, the corpse dropped the glow stick and it rose towards the surface. The pillar carried the figure into the shadows above. At that moment, Blake made the decision that whatever was to happen next was the worst case scenario. Everything else was preferable.
Everything was like fine. And now it's like, hey, eternal damnation in the sea. And then guess what? A pillar's gonna hold you and your flesh is gonna deteriorate off your bones. And you're gonna become a flag man.
Poor flag
Happy
man.
Halloween, Blake.
You're dying.
Oh my god.
Everything else was preferable. He wouldn't be the lamb. He tried to spit out his regulator. He's like, I'm dying today.
Yeah, literally. Literally.
Disgusting salt water managed to creep into his mouth as he struggled.
Good.
But even through his teeth, his lips had parted from it. The regulator wouldn't fall from his mouth. Using his tongue, he tried to push it out, but it held fast to his face. He felt the pull of the regulator around his lips and on the back of his head. The bastards hadn't given him a choice. They taped the regulator to his face.
Jesus.
He had to be alive for what came next. Through the murk, another corpse appeared. The pillar had brought up another degraded carcass from fathoms below. Blake floundered against the seafloor as the woman inched closer. She was younger than the man who'd come before, and her body showed fewer signs of decay. Behind her eyes, however, sat the same cold intelligence. That sentience watched him as she rose away into the dark. Her visage, sorry. her visage fleeting. Blake saw that across her bare chest were etched the same symbols of the damned. Another corpse came. This one was horribly disfigured and mangled.
Wait, how many corpses get to leave for his one corpse?
I think they're just like coming up from the depths of hell.
That doesn't make any sense. There isn't like a proper ratio. Is there like a balance that they sit on?
I don't know.
To measure this stuff out. I don't
know.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like this feeling I'm getting.
There was more rot than male left on his bones, yet the eyes remained lively. Sorry. His jaws dangled by only strands of sooness. Oh, that was a weird word. Sorry. I read that fast. Alright. Start again. His jaw dangled on a strand of sinew, and his right arm had long since been torn asunder at the elbow. The white of the bones seemed to glimmer in a dull light. Despite the rot, the edges of the symbol were still visible on his white chest, and his left hand managed to hold on threateningly to the old rusty dagger. Like the others, the rotted man faded into the above. More bodies appeared as the endless pillar rose. They came one after the other. Each one bore a look of indescribable anguish and pain on their face, a look that they forever carried, enslaved by the alien pillar behind them. Around Blake, a storm of currents had begun to churn sediment into frenzy. What little light, alright. What little light he had soon started to dirty as swirling cloud threatened to drown it all out. The currents came from beyond the light. Things moved unseen out there in the dark. They started to touch him.
Ew. Ew, like the dark or the people?
I think the people.
Ew, even both is like worse. I don't know which one's worse.
People.
Both.
They're dead! Like lightning, arms and hands long gone cold reached for him. Whenever his back was turned, they project themselves from the darkness like a sunken jack-in-a-box. He felt their slime-covered fingers caress him.
Fun. Oh, love that. Way to ruin everything.
I don't know. Slime-covered fingers, not my favorite
I
thing.
hate it. I hate all of it.
Their nails would jab and scratch him, and each and every time Blake turned around,
I feel like they're not allowed to have fingernails.
Nope, not anymore.
I feel like they're not allowed to have fingernails. I made the rules. Delete that sentence.
That sentence doesn't exist anymore because Emily hates it. So yeah, every time Blake turned around, he would see just enough. Well, I don't know what that means. Seeing just enough.
Enough of what?
Exactly. An arm sucked back into the void. Beyond his gaze, a cat toying with the mouse. A mouse with his back crushed into a trap. That was when she entered into the light, a horrid witch of a woman. Her skin was withered, and she seemed more bone than flesh. The symbol on her chest had fallen away. Only the scars on her rib cage remained. Her sunken eyes glared harshly as she reached for his face. Blake screamed for help that would never come as the woman ensnared him in her. Oh, that was a weird sentence break. Alright, I'm gonna do that again.
Okay.
Blake screamed for help that would never come as the woman ensnared him in her decomposing fingers. Up close, Blake saw every horrible detail. The pillar was clear now, and it was obvious that it was alive. It was dull, rotted of a color of corpses, and it had obvious texture of meat. I know. Meat?
Doesn't make any sense.
Nothing makes sense.
Okay.
From the woman flowed the strings of the puppeteer, the veins of the tentacles that had long forcibly invaded her body.
Oh, it's that kind of story. She's disgusting. You would know. It's that type of story, the tentacles, huh?
Keep your hentai to yourself, ma'am.
You didn't say it was becoming hentai. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I was implying. But anyways, continue, please.
Veins and tentacles that had long ago forcibly invaded her body fed directly into the enormous mass behind her. In the dimming light, Blake swore he saw them pulsate.
Ew.
They were pumping.
Ew. Ew, 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 ew. Ew. Jeez.
Pulsate's the worst word.
I hate that so much.
They were pumping like the veins beneath his skin.
Ew.
He felt another liquid breath on his skin.
Ew.
Craning around, he saw what he believed to be a pillar that had wrapped around behind him.
Oh no.
The first man he had seen had emerged.
It's gonna sneak up on him and it's gonna grab him.
Rah!
I go, gotcha. And he goes, no, you tricked me, Tentacle. You tricked me.
Not my legs.
Not my legs. He goes, oh no, you got me. You don't want to talk to you either. Aren't you, Tentacle? Oh, you tricked me.
Where are you going with that? Our manager hates us. Whoa!
Oh, you pillar, you and your tentacles, you spooked me. Blake's saying that right now.
This is all Blake.
It's all Blake.
Oh, I hate that.
Oh my god, that's disgusting.
But yes, the first man that popped up is behind him, is being carried away by the pillar. That's what's happening.
Is he the one touching him? What is he doing? Like, give him a good just slap on the back?
I was gonna
give
say.
him a good, like, alright, son, it's your turn.
So it's your turn to be sacrificed.
God, I hate it.
The mass of flesh that had fused into his back lifted his body upwards towards the surface. His eyes never left Blake. In the shadows, the pillar seemed to squirm and twist as it snaked its way up, thickening further.
If you ever have to describe something as squirming, I hate it. Automatically.
Like squirm.
Stop. No, we're not gonna do that. No. If you ever describe anything as squirming, get out. That's disgusting. I hate it. I hate that word.
Guess we gotta stop reading Pennywise fiction.
Stop. They don't understand the context of that.
Good.
If you ever describe anything as squirming, get out.
As it positioned itself, Blake understood what it was. As it positioned itself, Blake understood what it was that had risen from the trench.
What is it?
I was gonna get to that.
I'm getting into this.
The pillar was actually an enormous tentacle.
Oh! The story is going in the direction that I thought it was.
Finally, everything you dreamed of.
Oh my god.
Like
wait, so it's like one massive tentacle?
Or
and a bunch of
multiple.
Little tentacles?
I think it's multiple tentacles.
He's got tentacles of all proportions, baby.
What a good tentacle.
Whatever your heart desires, whatever shape, he's courteous.
Alright. I'm gonna get back to the story for you.
Alright.
Like the suckers of an octopus, the tentacle had sucked the woman's arm to hold Blake tight.
Alright.
No
No sound effects.
After you! Hypocrite!
Don't ever listen to me.
Behind him, the tentacle had brought into position the ghastly one-armed man Blake had seen earlier. The woman tightened her grip as she presented Blake to the one-armed man. Craning his neck, Blake saw the man fumble with the rusted dagger. He brought it sharply towards the bonds that held Blake's ankles so tight, and he brought it to cut.
Oh, so they got like a...
They're trying to help him out.
No, isn't it like the tentacles are controlling them?
Yeah.
No, they got like a little orchestra going. He's walked this road before.
Yeah.
He's like, I got a system now. I got a man with a dagger, a woman that's like gonna hold him, and then like an armless man, like one-armed man, like from behind that's gonna like grab him. He's got a whole like system.
They got a system. I'm kind of like...
They choreographed this routine, and they have been practicing up until honestly.
Commend them.
Just like me picturing it, like with the words you're saying, is hilarious. But like if I was living this,
it's gross.
It's a whole other different story, and I hate it.
They described really like out there, you know?
I don't know. It's like the whole concept of it is out there, and I have no idea where this is going.
Me neither. Which is really great that we're about to experience this together.
Because, like, if this is
I hope it's the Kraken.
Okay, if it's the Kraken, this is not how the Kraken works. Unless it's like the second movie of the Lost Empire of Atlantis.
Oh,
where,
yeah.
like, the Kraken was, like, mind controlling everybody.
Yeah.
Then it's like that case, but this one's like physically controlling these people.
Yeah.
And it's like these like flag people.
Cthulhu?
Cthulhu.
Alright.
What the fuck is
Fuck Cthulhu.
What words are you saying to me right now?
What shit you spewing out your mouth right now, sister? That was really stupid. I'm sorry.
I've heard that though. What's Cthulhu? I've heard that before.
That's another episode.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's not get into
Rue
it.
explains Cthulhu to Anna.
Anyways,
What words are you fucking speaking to me right now?
listen.
Okay, sorry.
Hold the mic closer.
Sorry.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Alright, so the one-arm man is cutting Blake's things right now.
Mhm.
He was reckless and precise as he saw through the ropes. As the binds came loose, Blake grimaced as the knife continued to saw. The man had accidentally severed a slice of skin from the side of Blake's ankle. Blake felt his legs come apart from each other, and he felt them spread into the water. He was free from the bottom, free. In that instant, the fight started. He let loose with the fury and panic the entire ordeal had granted him, but the corpse held tight. In fact, the more he struggled, the tighter her grasp got. The strength was far too great to resist, and soon Blake started to feel his ribs bend and strain. He couldn't breathe, but he kept fighting. Go, Blake. The whole time, Blake fought, and he saw her horrid gaze, unblinking, unfeeling, unyielding. Despite his thrashing, the puppet corpse behind him decided to proceed with the cutting. This time, he took an aim at the bonds between Blake's wrists. As he did so, Blake had an idea. A risky, terrible idea. In acceptance of the fact his legs stopped kicking, the woman released her grip just enough. In kind, and Blake sucked in a huge breath of air. His eyes glared definitely at the specter. He kept breathing, waiting. He had nothing to lose as he made his move. As soon as the dead man had finished cutting his binds, and at the precise moment the final strand had parted, Blake's palms closed around the rusted blade. They didn't let go. He wanted to scream as the blade dug into his palm, but he was beyond that now. His veins burned with pure determination. The one-armed man seemed to not possess the same strength as the woman had, for his grip on the knife was weak and feeble. No matter how hard the man behind him pulled, Blake would not release the blade. The woman's face never changed, but Blake saw a hatred grow in her eyes. With a terrible yank and nearly ripped the meat from his palm, the bloody water all over him. All around him. All over him. Yep, that makes sense. I'm going to do this again. With a terrible yank that nearly ripped the meat from his palm.
I think he's summoning the sharks.
That's smart.
I hope this is where the story's going.
That's really smart.
Oh, those smiling sharks. I miss them. I miss them so much.
Blake pulled the knife and the rest of the man's fingers free. Behind him, the top of the tentacle ran into the dark, carrying corpses along like a morbid roller coaster.
Oh my god.
But in front of him, the woman didn't retreat. She tightened her vice-like grip. Unfortunately for her, the grip was too high, and she found the tank on his back. This provided Blake with ample room to bring his right hand forward and plunge the blade deep into the woman's stomach. It scraped through her spine. Her grip failed just long enough, and Blake pushed himself free. Blake decided he wasn't going to die. All right, good job, man. The woman tried to recapture Blake, but with the strength he shouldn't have. The woman tried to recapture Blake, but with the strength he shouldn't have had. Blake brought the blade through the water into the left eye of the old woman. She didn't scream, but she clenched both eyes tight in pain. A thick black goo seeped from the wound and stuck to Blake's hand like ink. Her arms failed about, and Blake ripped the knife from her face, and he jammed it into the other eye. With that, she recoiled. Her hands came to her face to cover her wounds, and a tentacle fell completely away beyond the light. He was free. He knew his time was short. With his sliced right hand, Blake managed to find the glow stick the beast had dropped by his legs. He brought it to his face just in time to see the tentacle had not left him yet. Another body, a large, overweight man, was soon upon him. His arms reached forth. The target was Blake's throat. Blake jabbed the body with the rusted blade and retreated fast. Blake enjoyed that. The threat of pain and injury didn't sit well with the monster. That gave Blake a much-needed edge. Blake knew he couldn't hesitate any further. With a great kick against the block that had imprisoned him, he propelled himself towards the surface, to freedom, to air. He knew at the moment he would survive, even as the nitrogen started to boil in his blood, and as the salt seeped into his fresh wounds, Blake could only think of one thing: the surface breaking in his head. The surface breaking around his head, the chilly night sky biting into his scalp, the calming sight of the night sky. The watchful stars would be there, and they would see his final triumph. It would
His
be
naked body. 'Cause he is still naked.
glistening as he comes up like a mermaid, flips his hair
What
back,
a beautiful ending.
and next thing you know, he gets dragged back under.
Is that the ending?
Nope,
Oh.
but I hope it is. As his body began to betray him, he forced himself through. He knew the tentacle pursued. I'm going to say that again. I'm sorry. I'm getting excited.
That's right. Let that tentacle pursue.
Stop! He knew the tentacle pursued from below. He could feel it, a presence in the water all around. Hunger, ravenous. Why am I like this? All right. Hungry, ravenous eyes followed him from below, but he couldn't care. He couldn't afford to. His hand was cramping. I can't talk. I'm sorry. His hand was cramping. He found his grip morphing around the light and the knife. He could only hold onto one, so he made a choice. As the knife sunk, Blake grabbed onto the glow stick with both hands, and they clung to it like a lifeline. The surface was coming. Oh, how close it should have been. Surely only 30 feet, 20, 10. The stars. He should have seen the stars. Instead, only a pained, angry face met his gaze. Blake nearly collided with the corpse that ambushed him out of the dark.
Oh no.
He brought his feet to the corpse's chest and kicked hard against it. He felt the thing's ribcage collapse beneath his feet. He circled to his right and tried to rise again. He would make it. He knew he could do it. Scratching my face. He found another body. The woman was missing half her face, but she reached for him regardless. He dove down as she grasped for his legs. He just barely slipped by. Out of nowhere, a hand reached for his face. His momentum carried him past the man too close to the tentacle. He flipped around and shot far away. Oh, okay. Superhero.
Doing some water tricks, I see.
I see you, Aquaman.
With those acrobats.
He was definitely a swimmer in his past life.
Absolutely.
A small amount of water invaded his goggles, and the bends began to stab him at the muscles. He could do it. Again, he was ambushed. It shouldn't have been possible. The tentacle was everywhere. Is it just one singular tentacle?
It's just everywhere.
It's just one huge
just
go.
everywhere. I have no idea how it's doing it, but it's just everywhere.
Honestly, I commend the tentacle. It was fast. How was it so fast? I don't know, man.
It's just that one damn tentacle.
It's just one! Then the light showed him the truth. He retreated into the light's periphery. Sorry. He retreated into the light's periphery, for in its center a body was reaching for him, a devious smile on its face. To his right, the light revealed another one with twisted fingers and an exposed jaw-like ribcage. The bodies floated side by side in the water, their arms extended at length. Blake had no choice. He rose, and yet even there more bodies sat waiting in an ambush. The same happened as he swam backwards too. Bodies all formed a thick wall of nightmare around him. They were too close. One of the bodies struck Blake hard in the ribs in passing, and a pain that was finally too overwhelming. He dropped the light. Greedy arms took their chances and assaulted him as the light fell. As it sank, it illuminated the inside of what could have been a solid wall of flesh. A swirling maelstrom decorated with death had completely surrounded him. There wasn't just one tentacle, there were dozens. Okay, good. Make it...
Monster's just a giant
It's just one tentacle.
Just one giant tentacle.
There were dozens, and they contained him inside a giant sphere. His arms and legs were free, but Blake had never felt more trapped. The tentacles swirled. They kept him from the stars.
Oh my god.
Through his earplugs, he heard a chorus of screams going from nothing to overtake the white noise. They came from all around him, escaping out of the throats of the long since deceased. Their faces contorted as the ghoulish melody echoed through the waves. It was a tune of pure mockery and triumph, the song of Blake's defeat. He couldn't do it. He never could have. Blake began to sink. His muscles had stopped working. The pain of the bends was too great for his brain to ignore. He burned inside as the tentacles began to constrict their nets. As he only vaguely aware, as many more pairs of arms began to claw at him, holding him tightly in submission. The corpses never blinked. Behind his eyes, Blake was screaming, not from the pain. He screamed in defiance. He screamed against the cruel irony that prevented his escape. He saw the light and the bottom, the wreathing mass of tentacles. Blake watched as the tentacles parted, allowing the light to fall beyond his reach, beyond his sight. The tentacles closed again. The light died. The light died.
Watch it disappear. Now it closed again.
Yeah, fuck you.
Oh, that's such a dick move.
The tentacle's like, ha, you lost now, fool. Blake was in a pitch black, alone with the dead. He couldn't see it, but they started to smile. He felt it when the arms tore the goggles from his face. Not that it mattered anymore. The darkness persisted. Only the pain was new. The water assaulted his eyes and forced its way up his nose. The salt burned everything that it touched. He only managed to suck in half a breath as they removed the regulator from his face.
No.
Their breath was spoiled as water was quick to invade his lungs. Blake sputtered and spat, but all... Shut up, Cameron. The breath was spoiled as water was quick to invade his lungs. Blake sputtered and spat, but all that did was expel the last bit of air from his lungs. As they tore the tank from his back, Blake was drowning.
Oh my god.
He wouldn't drown fast enough. Though he couldn't see it, the tentacles positioned him strategically. They moved him up against a large, slimy section of barren flesh.
Stop.
Blake's head felt as though it would explode, and that was before the spines entered his body. Once inside, numerous barbed tentacles searched and dug their way into his veins.
No. Oh my god.
He felt a warm burning as an alien substance seeped into his veins.
Stop.
Eventually, all his blood would be lost at sea, and the only thick blood the monster would remain. As his head grew dizzy, tiny tendrils dug into their way into his spine. The pain was sharp, unbearable as they coiled about his central nervous system like a hungry python. Blake tried to scream, but there was no air left to give. No sound escaped his curled lips. He had hoped for comfort in death, but as the nerves of the beast found hold inside him, he found true hell. His mind became one with the others, left in darkness. Death never found Blake. The weight of the water filled his chest, and the sounds of damned filled his ears. He heard their screams, hundreds of screams. He felt their pain. Hundreds of lost souls sacrificed as they were all connected. He heard their pleas, help me. Anyone, please. I'm drowning. Why am I underwater? Who's there? Is anyone? I want my mom.
Oh no.
He felt his body move, but not at his command. He felt his eyes open. He saw nothing. He felt his lips forced into a smile, but he was anything but happy. He was left with one choice, the last option he could physically achieve. He called for help. No one would answer him, of course, for his pain was their pain. His fate was theirs. As they sunk into the abyss, one alien voice was forced into his mind. All is one here in the colony.
Is that it?
No, it's a little bit more left. But Jesus Christ, that was chilling.
I hate that so much. No, Blake, we've been such on a journey with you.
I
hate to
know.
see how this ends.
From their position near the seafloor beyond the ring of light, two divers had watched as Blake made for the surface. They both knew... Ooh, that was an accent. They both knew better than to interfere, so they had to wait patiently. There was no reason to chase after him. The colony had never allowed anyone to escape before. The situation, unseen above, surely well in hand. The blonde-haired diver watched as the lost light sank in front of her. She smiled as it settled. It was done. Moments after a tentacle had crept into their circle, a blonde-haired woman watched as an elderly man was brought forth. Carried between his arms was an old wooden chest. The other diver took the chest gently and allowed it to sink to the ocean floor. With his partner's help, they opened the chest. The contents were much to their liking. They closed the chest and prepared to make their ascent. However, before they went, tentacles surrounded them in a similar fashion to how they had surrounded Blake. Divers held themselves unnaturally calm as the dead surrounded them, including the recent deceased Blake Gardner. The tentacles seemed to bring him to showcase in front of the circle. Using his muscles, they forced Blake's right hand outwards. As they extended his fingers up, they made his body wave goodbye before they pulled him into the unknown.
Oh my god.
This didn't affect the divers at all. Two more bodies were brought to display. They noted the one-armed man who lost all but one of his fingers and the blinded woman. In a sickening motion, one-armed man peeled away from the tentacles. The tendrils retracted from his corpse, and the flesh peeled around his back. His body was dropped to the ocean floor, discarded. The man squirmed, but for a moment they always did that. The woman had often been told it was just a reflex, like a decapitated chicken when it runs. And she had other theories, though. She wondered if, just for a moment, the poor souls got control of their bodies back before they became still forever. She honestly didn't care either way. The woman was next. She was useless to the tentacles that she could not see, so too she was abandoned. She settled rather calmly into her sandy grave. As the tentacles left, one final body was brought to light. On it, a young man, no older than 20, presented himself, a hand clutched into a fist. On it, he raised two fingers towards the divers. A senior diver nodded, held two of his own in acknowledgement. With that, the young man smiled, and the creature disappeared into the trenches. The divers packed up two more bodies. They had work to do.
I hate that. Honestly, I felt like it was gonna go into like this whole cult kind of thing.
That would have been really
But,
cool.
I didn't think it was gonna be like a giant tentacle kind of cult with like this monster controlling them, and then like the colony is like these people being. What's the point? What's the absolute point of this monster having these people?
That's a good question.
It's just like, hey, look at these finger puppets. Like that's literally.
Basically, I don't know. Maybe he's used the tentacles using it for something, but we don't know.
Feeding off them.
Maybe.
But finger puppets.
Tentacle finger puppets.
That's the real scary part about Halloween. Stay out of the water, away from krakens with finger puppets. You might end up being one, apparently. No, that's like a dick move at the end with all of them being like, let me get my treasure chest and like, let these bodies like, take all these bodies for you and give you a new one.
It's like, yeah, I guess every time the creature loses a body, they have to find more.
Is the creature telling this?
Yeah. That's why it, like, lifted the two fingers and he did it back going, alright, two more bodies, because I lost these two. It's so gross.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that.
They're useless, so give me two more useful, fresh bodies, homies. So, yeah. That was deep.
It didn't scare me as much as it made me uncomfortable.
And that's what I want. I don't want scary. I want you to feel really uncomfortable.
Really uncomfortable. I'm never, ever going to step foot in an ocean. Ever again. I'm just going to I'm going to be on a seaside shore, dip my foot in the water and go, no.
This is it.
I'm not going to get grabbed by some tentacles and be a part of the colony. That's disgusting and I hate that.
I just hate that it's all tentacles. You don't even know if it has a face. Well, I guess it's time for us to wrap it up because, it's late.
Happy Halloween, you guys. That freaking sucked.
Yeah, hope you liked the stories or about my terrible talking and reading of stories,
I don't
but
think you really have to apologize for that. I think you guys just need to understand that this is a thing that's happening now. Tune in next time. We give updates on our Instagram page and our Twitter for you guys. You guys can go follow us and check us out and stay updated and see what else we're going to give to you. We got a bunch of new content and we're looking forward to making it for you guys and for you guys to listen and give us feedback.
woo!
So have a nice night and a very spooky Halloween.
Woo!
Don't let the tentacles grab you, baby.
Except for Blake Gardner. R.I.P. homie.
R.I.P. in peace.